we're basically already having the 12th annual conference if we count the online one last year as well. But it's getting, of course, difficult to endure in this online world. Even more important, we want to welcome you to this 12th annual edition already of the Muslim Jewish Conference. When we started this organization in 2009 and then had our first conference in 2010, dialogue, and especially Muslim Jewish dialogue, was still something exotic and strange in many parts of the world. Now, 12 years later, most of the young leaders and visionaries and entrepreneurs around this world have realized that it's a necessity, and that it's a necessity to work across borders to face the challenges that we have in our time, like climate change, like populism. So we want to believe that the 1,500 alumni that passed through the Muslim Jewish Conference in recent years have had a role in this and made Muslim Jewish dialogue more mainstream and a part of the conversations that we're having today.
Hi, my name is Salma Arif. I'm a politician in the UK. I just wanted to do a short video to welcome everybody to the conference. My God, is it going to be an amazing few days ahead. I'm totally jealous because I'm not going to be able to come to all of the conference, but I'm going to be in and out. I've been involved in MJC since 2017 now, and I haven't left. And the reason why I haven't left is because MJC is my family, and it always will be. MJC creates a safe space for us to have interfaith dialogue that is incredibly important. We're going through some incredibly challenging times as Muslim and Jewish communities, and actually for you to be able to have a safe space to talk, to learn, to listen, to challenge in this environment is something very, very special. And I know the guys are going to have an amazing set of programme for you, and I hope that you can take from the programme, go back into your communities and really make a difference, because that's what we need in today's day and age. Have a wonderful conference, and I'm sure I'll see some of you in the next coming days. Thank you.
Many of you know, because you've been part of the MJC family before, and many of you are joining right now. There is a lot of work that is behind this moment. So I want to thank to everyone. I won't go to one by one because always you can forget someone. But yes, really to everyone who helped in different ways to make this moment happen. It's been a long year and a half of a lot of challenges and a lot of resilience to have to be built. That's why when we decided we're running the conference, we're being able to, even with all the challenges that we're having, we managed to do it. So then the resilience came as a main topic to talk about. We're going to have that as a guidance during these 4 days of spaces for, as Salma and Ilya mentioned before, a safe space. We, as your MJC team, we can provide the space. This time is a virtual space. Other years are like in castles or in some beautiful cities or in different amazing venues. But in any case, we can provide the space. We can design some sessions and ideas on how to interact with each other. But at the end of the day, the essence of MJC, it's in the participants, in the people who made the magic happen. So,
we'll just to give you a word about the what you can expect from those 4 days. We'll get into thematic discussions starting today, and we'll also have a couple of sessions during the week where we'll have skill building workshops where you'll get to learn things, hopefully on different themes related to constructive communication, conflict resolution, dialogue, storytelling, etc.
We also noted down kind of positive appreciation of Jews and Jewish people as kind of expressed in the rich culture that Jewish tradition produced.
So some of the common stereotypes that we discussed were, the typical ones you probably often hear, Muslims being terrorists or being oppressed.
Yeah, every year we hear sometimes the same stereotypes about both groups or the three groups, and sometimes new ones. And it's, it's always interesting to list them out. And we know that there are many other that exist out there. And this is something that we invite you to ponder on, to think about, in terms of, again, where those stereotypes come from. You might have a chance to talk more about some of those in the upcoming thematic discussions. And again, what's the impact? What's the impact of the existence of those stereotypes on our relationship with each other and with our respective societies? So.
So I'm Radia. I've participated to the MJC in 2018 and 2019, I think. I'm super happy to be here. I've been involved in interfaith and Jewish-Muslim relations since I think it's been already 7 or 8 years. The Interfaith Tour project. What is Interfaith Tour? Is really about changing the perspectives on the different countries and to give good practices on interfaith. We are doing a world tour for 10 months in 15 countries of interfaith initiatives. We are conducting interviews so we can collect all the good ideas that people have around the world, and then we have.
Yeah, hey everyone, it's me, Dennis Sadiq Kirschbaum. I'm based in Berlin, and I'm one of the founder of an NGO called Juma, Young Muslim and Active. It's the biggest nationwide operating Muslim youth organization in Germany. We are focusing our work on social and political issues. We don't work on religious issues. And we have 3 pillars that we do for years. So one is lobbying. So we reach out to politicians and journalists and talk about the aims and visions of young Muslims in Germany. The second thing is we have an interfaith educational team called the Interreligious Peers. They are working in schools and youth centers, and we work with Jewish, Baha'i, Christian and Muslim youngsters in 5 different states of this country. And the third thing we do is cultural work. So for years we are organizing cultural events like Muslim Culture Days or similar events. And why we do cultural work, we believe that sometimes an artist can transform a message within 4 minutes that we as scientists, political activists could not hold in 2-hour speech. So sometimes art is a good transmitter to get messages through a broader audience. And yes.
So dass ihr alle da wart. Vielen, vielen Dank an euch alle und hoffentlich bis zum nächsten Jahr. Danke.
Well, first of all, I grew up as a Jew in Germany, and I'm used to, when I tell people that I'm Jewish, to being asked, you know, how did my grandparents survive the Holocaust? How come that there are still Jews in Germany? How come I don't look so Jewish? I don't have such a Jewish nose. So there is a kind of an interesting habit of having certain stigmata attached to the religion when I talk about it. So I decided to organize a festival, a music festival, with music and dance from different religions from around the world. So I kind of started this event with this one emotion of creating a safe space for students to get to know each other's religions, but it ended up being much more than that, which is a platform for different religious communities to come into a same space, meet each other, and also a space where communities that aren't very visible in conventional interreligious dialogue, especially those that aren't Western institutionalized religions or that they aren't based on scriptures, they can be part of this kind of event and be visible and have equal footing on the same stage, so to say.
Cooperation circles are truly the foundation of URI. So there would be no network if it wasn't for the constituents of the network who actually constitute the whole network. And I keep repeating network because that truly is the essence of URI. Having all these groups that came together for different reasons. In the video, it said to build a school or to call out someone who's doing some injustice in your community, or to fundraise for a certain cause. No matter what the topic of your work, if you're identifying with the principles of URI, and if you want to create cultures of peace, justice, and healing, you're more than welcome. And there are not a lot of requirements actually for a group to become a cooperation circle when you objectively take a look at it. You need to have at least 7 members in your group, and they need to come from at least 3 different backgrounds, either religious backgrounds, spiritual backgrounds, indigenous traditions, or you can be an agnostic or an atheist, as stated in the video. So everyone is welcome in URI, no matter what your background or one of the layers of your identity is. Because for some people, interfaith itself is a goal, right? So the goal is for all of us to be in one room, to be able to talk about interfaith and about our respective faiths and different backgrounds and our convictions, and to share this diversity and to enjoy the benefits of them, right? But then another group of people that I work with say that interfaith is just the vehicle. So that's the car that I get into in order to achieve the goal of calling out a corrupt local leader, or to raise awareness about the environmental crisis that we're in, or to empower girls, or to raise funds for education, whatever it might be, because any issue that we're facing in our local community is intersectional. There is no single issue around the world, and this is my personal belief, it's not a stance of URI, but there is no one single issue around the world that is isolated.
Hello everyone, Salam Shalom. I'm really happy to see you all, and I miss you a lot. I'm always thank you to the MJC because really changed my mind. It was like out of the box.
And to tell you a little bit about what happened on Sunday, we hosted an MJC local lunch at Buenos Aires. We happened to have some young people from different countries of the region. We had a Colombian, we had a Brazilian, one that's half Uruguayan, and we met, and we were able to involve young people that we were trying to get involved into this for a long time, which are not that young. Our year-long project involved, like Mary said, young people from 18 to 24, and we wanted in this land to host it for people around 30 or more, and we were able to bring very interesting stories. We were talking about how racism was appearing more and more in our streets here, which we are always very proud to say that Argentina, Buenos Aires is a city of coexistence, and we don't want to raise the alarm, but there are some discrimination situations happening from both sides, and it's interesting how we are able to approach them together.
We're a group of women. Sometimes I often get people saying, oh, why don't you have men in the group? Well, it's all about relationship building, and we think we do that really well. Without those friendships and that trust, we can't have those difficult conversations, which we do believe in having when the time is right. So yeah, it's all about friendship, and we think that works really, really well with women. And, you know, on a more serious level, peacemaking efforts in Northern Ireland, Israel, Palestine, when women have been involved, that's statistically more likely to be successful in terms of reconciliation. There's some amazing projects over in Israel, Palestine, like Women Wage Peace and lots of other things. So, yeah, and also we share similar struggles. We both have patriarchal traditions.
So what do we do? That's the next question. So there are a few things that we do. For example, we do internal study. We meet together and study about each other. Here's a picture of the lesson about Islam. The special thing about it is that I also learn ideas from the Islam and from Christianity that can help me in my own work.
My name is Eliau. I live in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I work as a rabbi in a small Jewish community. I lead the synagogue here, and young Jewish people from different academic backgrounds or profiles can join into this program and be trained in diplomacy. And it's
always good to have testimonials from how the local, regional, and global levels are all connected, not only in people but also in initiatives. So thank you so much.
As a student of diplomacy, I just want to start out by saying that I see in the work of the MJC a really compelling example of network diplomacy, a multilateral creation of a coalition of people whose bridge building work in their respective countries allows them to see the possibilities of what could be envisioned and accomplished when like-minded organizations and individuals work together across boundaries of not only religious, but also racial, cultural, ethnic, geographic, and economic difference. In the same regard, the fear of those who are different, which populist movements are leveraging to gain power, cannot be adequately addressed by any one expression of diplomacy. In fact, I would argue that those who do what we do are in a far better position to address this phenomenon than any state-sponsored diplomat. We are the ones on the ground. We know the names of the neighbors we must connect. We will still be here after the next election or the next coup d'etat, regardless of who is in power. So that's because I view that what we're doing as foundational to the kind of international society that most people want to live in, but who lack the tools and the strategies to realize how to do that on their own. This is because it is not only our neighbors who can benefit from what we do. I believe that the individuals and organizations represented in this gathering are in possession of knowledge and skills that many state-sponsored diplomats would envy and very much like to learn from and align themselves with. Understand, for while the promotion and preservation of democracy through participation in elections is dependent upon people not giving in to cynicism or the false belief that they are powerless to make a difference in the world. But this is exactly what the MJC does most wonderfully, most beautifully. So
first of all, hi everyone. Shalom, salam alaikum.
Welcome back, Mohammed. It's so good to see you.
Thank you, guys. It's a little bit emotional for me to be here. You know, I would like just to start speaking to you that honestly, MJC opened my eyes. I actually, the first time ever in my life, meet a Jew in person, face to face. It was actually through MJC. I remember, like, you know, the first actually Jew I met through MJC, he was not only a Jew, he was a Jew, Israeli, and gay. It's like 3 in 1 for me. And it was an amazing experience. I remember that I met not only about my Jewish community, but also about the Muslim community. I learned more about my community itself. It was an amazing, amazing experience, again, in Bosnia through MJC, to meet also Muslims who are proudly Muslims, but also they're proudly from the LGBTQ community. And that's an amazing experience also for me to open my eyes. So first of all, I want to say thank you, MJC. Everything that changed in my life is actually because of that conference. MJC grow something inside my heart about interfaith. I love interfaith so much. Like whenever I have free time, I want actually to do interfaith. So when I came to the United States, I was so amazed by the freedom of religion, that you can actually do interfaith without being afraid about what, if there is extreme group will come to kill you or something like that. I hope it will continue like this in the United States. And I started doing something called Abrahamic House. We have an organization that allow 4 people from different faiths. We have a Muslim, a Jew, Christian, and Baha'i. They live together. We pay the rent for them. And we try to support them through the fellowship. It's a fellowship through 1 year to 2 years. And in this period of time, they need to do events to let people know about themselves. Now we have 2 houses, one in Los Angeles and one in Washington, D.C. My dream is to have houses all around the United States, and hopefully even to have houses outside of the United States. We already received requests to open houses in Germany and France, and who knows, maybe this will happen one time.
I said, this seems great after doing a little bit of research. It was very exciting for me to learn about this, and especially that it was more of an international conference as opposed to maybe an Israel-Palestine focused one or an American-centric conference. So it really spoke to me that it has more of an international and global feel. I really like that.
I want to speak with people, to speak with Jewish people, even not about the politics, even not about the conflict, but just to see that they are normal people, that they are like us. Because for me, the conference was very interesting and surprisingly successful for me, because it was online. So that was the first challenge. So even if it is, the subject were interesting, but the fact that it is online, that puts a lot of pressure on you, I think, and a lot of challenges. So, but no, it was extremely successful, even if I had some technical issues, if I was maybe I have some issues with my camera, but I was very interested in the topics. I participated in the discussions. I opened my mic so many times and jumped in and just share my perspective, discussed some few issues, and even built friendships. However, that was the first time I have a normal discussion with a Jewish person about the weather, about something that is not related to Palestine and Israel, something that it is quite normal between 2 persons who are having a discussion about something in life. I don't know, COVID, we discussed the challenges in our personal life, we discussed even mental health in the pods you have put us in. In Tunisia, we don't hear about this, we don't talk about this. We only limit ourselves to think that Jews and Israelis hate Arabs and want to eliminate them, and they do not see the bigger picture. I have been talking about it with my friends, that I told them that I was we were discussing, we were actually exchanging thoughts like normal people for the first time, Muslims and Jews and even agnostic and all of the others, just have a normal discussion. So that's the biggest highlight.
It's funny because people talk about the MJC family. I was going to say, I've always felt in family with Muslim people. I'm quite amazed at what a great conference it was, even though it was online. And actually, I wouldn't have come if it was in real life. I get so excited at the initiatives that some of the people here are doing, where they're not worrying about money. They're not worrying about getting big grants. They're just saying this has to happen. I mean, I get so much hope. The MJC is just, to me, it's filled with hope.
when I was back in Pakistan in 2015, we don't have any exposure or experience with Jewish people, as it is written on our passport that this passport is valid for all countries except Israel. And we have no experience to interact with any Jewish before. So I have no idea about like Jewish people, how they look like, even how they, like do different kind of activities, how their religion exists. So I said to my mom that, no, let me, explore new things. Let me try. If not, then I will not join later on. I do remember when I joined in 2015 and then again in 16. Right now, my mom, like even she's asking me, are you joining this conference? Like even the mindset has changed, not only for me, for my family.
I know MJC is a great network and space that people come to share their projects and the problems in their projects, and space also where synergies happen. And so many people have come here with cultural projects or interpersonal. We're bringing young people together, and the ways that it happens are so different. I'm here looking for enthusiasm, looking for people who are very optimistic, people who are used to traveling across boundaries and who find that meaningful. And a completely different type of learning happens in interacting with people. So I'm looking for, especially for resources and partners, for thinking about what kind of collaborative learning can make a difference with peace building that uses Muslims and Jews. And it would, since I've done work in Bosnia and Serbia and in the Balkans, it would also apply there as well, where Muslim-Jewish relations are really super important.
For me, what is the most important are people. Meeting people, share ideas, learn from them, learn about them, got new food, new fuel, new energy. That is something for bringing me back again.